Hello, my name is Lauren and I live in Southern California, and although it's famous for its beautiful coastline, it's also one of the most densely populated areas in the United States. Not only that, but my backyard runs along a fairly busy road. Despite all that, I decided to spend 1 week observing any and all wildlife in my backyard, and here's what I found. So here is my backyard. It's not really huge, and I have a lot of different kinds of plants. I have some flowers, I have wildflowers, I have some vegetable plants as well along the back wall. That's pretty much my backyard. To start off with, I had my usual species of birds that visit the seed feeders. Mourning doves, song sparrows, and house finches. I've always had 2 pairs of doves frequently visit the feeders, so I was sad to see that there has been a lone dove, which makes me think that their partner is gone. Doves do tend to stay with one partner throughout the breeding season, or maybe they just split up until next year. I don't know, I'm not a dove expert, but I just found that interesting. So the doves, sparrows, and finches are all year-round visitors, and they stay mostly to the feeders and on the ground below. In the winter, I had a lot of visits from spotted towhees, but I hadn't really noticed them in my yard for months until this week. They mostly stick to the ground and they do their little hopping motion to till up the ground for food, but this week I was really surprised to see that a few actually started using the feeder. I also had brief visits from California towhees, which also till up the ground like spotted towhees, but I've never actually seen them use the feeder. Black phoebes also make very sudden appearances, but as they're flycatchers, they just kind of fly above the grass and quickly move on, so I wasn't able to get any footage of them, unfortunately. After 2 summers, I've tried to plant some milkweed since I wanted to bring some monarch butterflies to my backyard, but I planted these starter plants and I just don't think they took to the soil very well, so this year I planted some from seeds and I was excited to see the flowers come out after nearly 3 months in July. I didn't see any monarchs until this week. Even though only one stem has flowered, every time a butterfly flies into the yard they go straight for the milkweed, so it's really exciting to see that. I also saw one kind of go around to several of the stems of the milkweed, and that's where they actually lay their eggs, so I'm going to pay it close attention and see if any monarchs lay eggs on the milkweed. I'm lucky that in where we live there's a good year-round population of hummingbirds, so I always have lots of activity in my hummingbird feeder. I just use a mixture of water and white sugar and change it out every few days so that it doesn't get moldy. It's really hard to tell the difference in species of hummingbirds sometimes. The sunlight has to hit their fluorescent feathers like just right, and even then, if they don't stay still, it's hard to tell. I know that I get Anna's and Alan's hummingbirds frequently, and I know I saw a Rufous hummingbird a couple months ago which come up from Mexico, but I haven't seen one in a while. So in the other category of what's in my yard are these guys. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I've struggled with how to keep these guys out of my bird feeders. I won't go through the whole entire saga with you, but I won't use rat poison because it's really terrible for wildlife and the ecosystem for so many different reasons. Basically, if a rat dies from rat poison, something else is going to eat it, and in turn, that will also get poisoned. So I'm talking about cats, mountain lions, crows, coyotes, lots of different animals, so I just don't want to bring that into the ecosystem. So I've bought what's called a baffle, and that keeps the rats from climbing up the pole to get to the birdseed, and I spray peppermint oil near my fruit and vegetable plants to deter them, and that seems to work for the moment, although I can only use one of the bird feeders, which is annoying, but it's better than my birdseed going at a rapid pace, which is what was happening. Okay, so I'm kind of nearing the end of my week for my outdoor viewing wildlife video, whatever I'm gonna call it. And I've decided that I have this little solar fountain that is really, really good. It works very well in the sun, but it almost works too well in the sense that when the sun is really, really strong, it kind of pumps all the water out of the little reservoir where I have the solar fountain sitting in. And by that point, when it's really strong, it just kind of all shoots up and then it just goes away, it basically evaporates. So I've kind of decided last minute that I'm going to build a little wildlife pond. This is a place that we rent, so I'm not really able to do anything too dramatic, but what I'm kind of picturing in my head is something that's maybe about like 2 by 3 feet. I can kind of build it into the side of the hill, I hope. I've done a little bit of research, and by a little bit of research, I mean barely any. I've talked to my brother-in-law, And I've also looked at a couple YouTube videos of other people that have made wildlife ponds. I'm not expecting this to be huge. It's just going to be big enough essentially to just keep the water in so that hopefully the water can just keep pumping out. I'm going to build hopefully like a little shelf so that birds can drink from it, and then I'm going to build it a little bit deeper so that some birds can bathe in it. I feel like this is probably going to be a little bit excessive for what I have for my little solar fountain, but I'm just going to go with it. It's going to kind of be a nice experiment. I'll probably tweak things and adjust things here and there in the future. We'll just kind of see what works, but I really want to build a wildlife pond in the future when we own our own house and have the land. I really want to build a wildlife pond that would be able to attract kind of more bigger mammals and stuff. But for the time being, I feel like this will be a nice thing to practice and kind of see what works, see what doesn't. I'm gonna go ahead and go get started while there is a little bit of shade there. It's really hot today. The only thing is that I don't have my pond liner today. I tried to ask for some first of all in my Buy Nothing group, and I had it on there for about a week, and I had a few people saying that they might have some, but I wasn't able to get any pond liner that anybody had left over, unfortunately. So I went to the store to go buy some, and they were just gigantic ones. Just waiting. I ordered a pond liner. I'm just waiting for that to arrive. I think it's supposed to arrive tomorrow. So today I'm just going to kind of dig out and kind of figure out the structure of what my pond liner is going to look like. Yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Can tell I really didn't know what I was doing. A lot of this was just kind of trial and error and see what's working, and I actually had to go back the next day and kind of fix it a little bit because I didn't realize that so much of the bottom pond was exposed. I will probably have to buy some like smaller rocks just to put on the bottom to kind of hide the pond liner. I also have to go back and kind of change a few things again. So I kind of want to make the part where the birds bathe deeper and then make the part where they drink obviously shallower, and right now it's kind of the same level. So I'll go back and I'll tweak it a little bit, and hopefully I can perfect it. But this was definitely a learning experience. I enjoyed doing it, and I'm going to enjoy watching some of the birds come. So make sure to follow me on Instagram if you're interested in seeing kind of updates about what the pond is and what maybe wildlife brings to my pond. So to finish up this video, my challenge to you is to add something to your outdoor space to bring more wildlife. Even if it's a small item or water saucer, you could be bringing in frogs or putting in a sand bath to help birds keep mites off of them. It's so rewarding to make these little changes and to see a small little ecosystem slowly build in your outdoor space. As I've said before, we rent our house, so there's only so much I can change in my backyard, but my goal one day is to have an outdoor space that will attract more mammals, amphibians, and a wider variety of birds. I hope this video has inspired you to make your area a better space for wildlife, and let me know in the comments what you've done or what you plan to do to help your local ecosystem. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to leave it better, and I'll see you next time. Strider is not the best to be helping me. He's already scared off a lizard and a dove. So I'll probably do voiceovers. spider! Oh my god. Get out. Get out.
What's wrong with my dog? Perfect timing, Strider. Thank you very much.